Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. It is Snapshot 20w09a, and in this one we have two brand new blocks. One of them is called Crying Obsidian, which I believe was in the game a long time ago briefly and then removed. It has finally arrived back in Minecraft. The other one over here is the Target Block. This sounds like a hay bale when you place it down, which might be a placeholder sound, but it's part of the way in which it's crafted. So let's just jump over here and check out the crafting recipe for the Target Block. You can see it's hay bale with redstone surrounding it to make one of those. Crying Obsidian, though, currently doesn't have a recipe for its creation. I don't believe it generates anywhere in the world. It essentially has no function yet, and so I believe it's being introduced this snapshot to get some feedback, perhaps about its texture and the particle effects coming off of it, and then maybe in future snapshots it's going to be given some features. So let's come over here to the buttons. It has 3 different types of particle effect, and they seem to work strangely with commands as they just seem to generate everywhere, which is a little bit on the odd side. We also have the falling obsidian tier. The first one was called the dripping obsidian tier, and last of all, the landing obsidian tier. So it seems like there's a lot of details going into the particles that are emanated from this block. Let's grab the flint and steel as well and give it a quick light. You can see it doesn't act like a portal to the overworld. So the target block works just as you might guess it would. It creates a redstone signal when you shoot at it, and this is only a short redstone signal. So notice how the arrow stays in the block. We can actually shoot another one into it, and then it just creates a short pulse while the arrow remains in there. And you can actually shoot it on all sides, including underneath, including where the comparator is as well, and it creates a signal. Now the signal strength is based on how close to the center this thing is, and at first I thought maybe it will do it 1 pixel at a time, right? And you have to just get it in this pixel over here to get a full signal, and that skeleton blocked our view. It is not the case. It's actually really quite sensitive, so it will go from 1 to 15 based on how close to the edge or the center you are. So if I shoot right there, we get 1. As you can see, let's shoot a little further in this time, and we got 1 again. Let's aim for 2, even though we're on the inside of that pixel there. Yeah, you can see this thing is super sensitive, and the closer to the center, the stronger the signal. You can also use a trident on this thing. It works with that. Eggs, snowballs as well. I'm not sure if there's any other types of projectiles it works with. Splash potions, I guess, are another type of projectile entity. Ha, look at that. It works with that. What about the lingering one? Yeah, it even works with this. There's also the ender pearl, but as you'll see, it doesn't work with this one. I guess I should also mention that a comparator is not essential here. It outputs an actual proper redstone signal, so you can power something that's directly next to it. Now there's plenty more to talk about in this snapshot, but while we're on the topics of new blocks, there's a change to the purple texture. The top side was still using the old textures, so this right here is effectively a new texture, just the top of the pillar block. So the next change in this snapshot, I think, is going to get a fair amount of pushback from the Minecraft community, and I think it's a bold move on Mojang's part. I'm personally okay with change. Change is a part of life, but this does feel like a departure from the old Minecraft. You'll see here that this spawn egg I have is the Zombified Piglin spawn egg. That's because there are no zombie pigmen in the game anymore. They have been replaced with this character right here that only has a single ear. And so over there is a regular piglin. Let's actually spawn them in side by side. This used to be the zombie pigman, but now it's been changed to the Zombified Piglin. And as much as I like this mob right here, and I think it's really cool, I think taking out the classic original mob is probably not the best of moves. I think that's probably going to anger a lot of people in the community. So I'm not supporting that viewpoint, I'm just kind of speculating that might be a response. Personally, I'm extremely grateful that this game exists and that it can be my job, which is what making these videos is. So let's just continue with it and show you the next change, which is to the piglin when in the overworld. You can see this one right here isn't shaking. If we spawn in a couple right here, you'll see that they'll start to shake and eventually they'll turn into Zombified Piglin and not Zombie Pigmen, of course. And that's because they can now have this tag, is immune to zombification. And so when given that tag, they can survive in the overworld. So I quickly want to take a moment to say that Hermitcraft Season 7 is right around the corner, And also, if you want to catch that or these snapshot videos on a regular basis, then subscribe to the channel and you'll get notified of when I publish them. Next up, we got changes to the trading system with the piglins, and I've actually seen some comments from the devs pointing out the stuff that you see in the snapshots is subject to change, and that bartering was one of the systems they wanted to adjust with feedback from the community. And you can see right here that it is possible to get crying obsidian through trading with these piglins, as well as some other new things as well. So I've gone through the loot table, and the rare thing that you can get is a netherite hoe. That has a weight of 1. Then over here at a weight of 5, you can get these items with different counts. I actually think that's incorrect. I seem to remember that being simply just 1. Don't know why the sign says 2 to 4. Over here with a weight of 10, we have all of these items, and you can see that the amounts you get are far more generous than they were before, and the items have all changed as well. So over here at weight 20, meaning it's even more common than those ones, you can see these are all the items, these are the counts as well. And based on how I read the loot table from inside the game, it seems like there is one final item that isn't actually listed that has a count of 1 to 5. Or maybe I've got something wrong there, maybe the numbers here are slightly different. But so this is the way you can currently get crying obsidian, by bartering with the piglins. And also, while I remember, the fungi has been renamed to fungus, so you can see both of these are now called fungus. Those two items and the warp roots and the crimson roots will now be able to be placed inside of flower pots, and they look gorgeous. Those are going to make some lovely little details for use in your builds. Now these here are what the devs refer to as huge fungi, and now they're only going to be able to be grown on their corresponding Nelium block. So if I put the warped fungus on both of these, you'll see I'm not able to use bone meal on this one, but I can on that one, and it works vice versa as well. So you have to put it on the correct type to then be able to grow it. So the Netherwart block has been in this game for some time, and it's infamously slow to mine, but finally it's been given a tool that can break it. Not quite instantly. With enchantments that would of course be possible, and that is simply the hoe. That will now be the tool of choice for both of these blocks. And while we're at it, you can also climb up these vines now. So if I hold down spacebar, you can see that I am ascending upwards. And that I very much like. Cool way to get about in the nether, unless you fall down like that. And now I'm dead. Next up, we're going to talk about lighting changes here in the nether. Although I don't really need to say too much, I just need to fly around. You can see that stiff transition between biomes, and the colour that creates the atmosphere here in this environment is now smooth. And I'm flying over here rather fast. Let's go through some of these transitions a little slower. That is looking really good. As well as this, in the changelog, it also notes that the ambient block lighting in the nether will be on parity with other editions. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I think it generally means this should look more like playing the Bedrock edition of the game. Next up, we have an interesting change to lava. It's now going to move entities like water does with entities. You can see our fire-resistant items right here are being moved by the lava. Now, this can happen for other entities as well, like the blaze, a mob, for example, and this is definitely being moved by the lava, just very slowly. However, it seems to be even slower when it gets pushed in a straight direction than when it gets pushed in a diagonal one. Can you see it? Do you know what's going on right here? There was a bug post saying that baby hoglins and baby piglins were not interacting with one another, and that turns out to be true, because in this snapshot we can see what they're supposed to do when they interact, and it is cute and adorable. They ride on the back of the baby hoglins. Oh, it's so cool. They just run around, and occasionally they'll jump on and then they'll jump off again, and you can see that one, yeah, took over that one and then jumped off itself. Oh, it looks really cute. Now, on the subject of piglins, there are a few changes. The ones that have crossbows are no longer going to pick them up in favour of gold ingots. Yeah, it looks like the one with the crossbow is still very much holding it. Actually, it looks like he just put it onto his other hand. And look at that, I've been given some crying obsidian. There is also a change saying that when a piglin is looking at a gold ingot and you kill it, that it won't drop the gold ingot. Was that one I just dropped? Yes, there you go. So you can't just cheekily give them a gold ingot, get your bartered item, and then kill them and get your ingot back. There was also an issue with a piglin holding a shield not being able to pick up items. So let's go give this one some gold, and we'll see that it ditches the shield in favor of the gold. There were also some items listed as not attracting the piglins, so let's go ahead and throw these items down. They'll now go for the clock. Not sure if it's going to go for the powered rail or the bell. Yeah, it'll take the bell. We've got the Totem of Undying, the gold nugget, the pressure plate, and the glistering melon slice. Okay, so it appears that it's just the powered rail and the Totem of Undying of those items that they still don't go for. And when it comes to the bug fixes, there were a lot of them, and there were some really minor things like adjustments to texture changes and things that were obviously just not working. So we're going to get to the more interesting of changes you'll probably want to know about. For example, the skeleton horse can now be leashed and move around like this. There were also some ways in which regular fire could then spread onto soul soil and not create the blue fire. That includes fire spreading from lava. This is another bug that's fixed. The mining speeds of some of the new crimson and warped wooden materials were broken, so now when you use your axe, it will be the same mining speed as normal. And there was also a feature mentioned by one of the developers that when hoglins would become aggressive at the player, they would then no longer despawn. I'm not sure if this is the same mechanic, but essentially both piglins and hoglins, when coming within 16 blocks of the player, would then become persistent and not despawn. And as you can imagine, this would cause a lot of issues, so that will no longer happen. There were also a couple of things I missed from the previous snapshot. For example, the piglin is actually scared of blue fire. If we put a few in here, you can see that they immediately run away from it. And despite diamond being better than gold, they actually prefer wearing this armor over their diamond armor. So you can see this guy's going to look at the chest plate and then equip it. There you go. Last of all, I'd like to give you some information from the developers. In this thread on Twitter, Dinnerbone clarified that we don't commit to features until they land in the public's hand. We've always worked this way, and we can't tell you what's coming next because we're not entirely sure ourselves. There may be another biome, but there may be other things in its place. We don't know yet. Now, I wanted to share that with you because we had some of the other developers saying that there weren't going to be new biomes, so it's really up in the air, and perhaps we could see a new biome after all. We also have this tweet from King B Dogs saying, "Crying Obsidian was the first block I had the privilege to work on since starting my position at Mojang. It's really cool to see it get added to the recent snapshot, and Jasper did a fantastic job with the texture. It's decorative for now, but it will have uses later." So that should confirm that there are planned features for this block, and it's not just going to be something you get from bartering that doesn't actually do anything. Another comment from a developer on a live stream is that there wasn't going to be a gold ore added to the Nether. This was a highly upvoted suggestion. However, the team had decided that the Nether isn't going to get its own form of gold ore. And it's also been said that Nether fortresses can only generate in soul sand valleys and the original Nether wastes, but they can extend into other biomes. This might mean the frequency of nether fortresses in the nether is a little bit lower. I can't confirm that, but these don't generate in either of the forest biomes. And I now believe that that is everything I needed to cover in this snapshot video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, and remember, be on the lookout for the first episode of Hermitcraft Season 7. It is coming your way, and I believe it'll be fantastic. Okay, enough with the bees. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.